Welcome to Hold the Mic. We are your host, Ryan Shead. This is my brother, Ian Sherman. How are you doing?
What up, though, man? TGIF, brother. We taking it back to the
Oh,
90s.
thank God. I know we're half hour late from normal. We had an amazing show that we just recorded with
Yeah.
Sarah Higginbotham. She is one of the
Stay
co-founders.
tuned.
Oh, dude, it's such a good episode.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just got done recording. It was supposed to be a half hour, but Sarah was so awesome that it ended up going an hour. So,
She's dope. She's really
yeah,
dope.
I really can't. I can't wait for you guys to see this episode. It's going to be amazing. It's all on abortion rights and the movement and what we need to do now and what's coming next. And the fact that the fight won't be over when Kamala wins. You know, we're still going to be having this fight, especially within the states. So, can't wait for you guys to see this episode. So, how was your week, brother?
Too long. Very happy. When I text you, I go, fuck this. Can't wait to see you. I
Yeah,
think
he
that's
did.
all I wrote to you. I was
He
like,
said F this day. I can't wait. I can't wait to hang out tonight.
and I stand by every word. So yeah, here we
You
are.
know, today was actually a pretty positive day, I think.
Okay.
My investments were up quite considerably. Thank you to the U.S. hiring being accelerated in September,
Thank
blowing
you, Biden
past
economics.
Biden economics, blowing past expectations. The U.S. economy added a staggering 254,000 jobs in September, blowing past economists' expectations of only 140,000 jobs gained.
I'm sorry. Say that again. They expected 100 and what?
140, and we ended up
And
with
how much showed up?
250. Yeah, an additional 110,000. We almost doubled it. We
That sounds
almost
like some
doubled the
Biden math right there,
expectations.
man. That sounds like some quiet, sleepy Joe math.
Right? I know. Almost doesn't add up. The unemployment rate ticked lower to 4.1%, which was below the projections that it would remain steady at 4.2%. So double the jobs added to the economy and lower unemployment than was expected. So I'd say that I'd like how the economy's going, and I'd like more of this. And that's why I'm going to be voting for
Four
Kamala
more
Harris.
years.
I want
Four
8
more
more
years,
years of this shit.
you know?
4 years. I want 8 more years of this.
Did you see Sleepy Joe give a press conference and surprise everybody today?
No, I didn't.
Oh, he showed up and he did it. And everybody was like, Mr. President? And everybody they got locked in. And it was great. And he was, he's Sleepy Joe. He's fun. He's fun. He's fun.
I mean, what's he got to worry about now?
He
You know what I'm
literally-
saying?
He's walking around like it's senior year in high school and he doesn't give a fuck. He's like, yeah, let me just get these credits. Like, let's just pass the check. Let's go. Let me get that diploma. I did my shit. I'm out.
Oh my God.
He's having fun. You can see he's having fun.
You know, he should. I mean, I think
deserves
everything is getting taken care of that's supposed to. I mean, the
Yes.
fact that he's able to have fun and shut the port strike down in like 48 hours, I'd say, hey, not bad.
You with that post had me I blurted out laughing. I literally saw you post and I go, hold up. He's over here. Oh, we're going to have a strike for it. Well, that's over.
Yeah, that's done.
That didn't last long. I literally sat here and I saw at Costco, I'm not kidding you, 2 days ago, people were like trying to buy up all the toilet paper. And I go, that's domestic, guys. That is not coming from China. Like that is literally like you could go down the street, go to Massachusetts, you're going to see a factory.
But
go get some. You're good.
It was like the same people panic buying,
Oh my God.
were the same ones panic buying during COVID. And by the way, a shout out to Costco who came out and said that they will not be allowing people to return the things that they bought. I love it. You go in there, with 5 things of toilet paper. They're going to look at you and say, "No, you take that back home."
That is white gold. Enjoy it.
Oh my gosh.
Next millennium.
Hey, I will say, when COVID was happening, I was still pretty fresh from my colon removal. So I was like, anybody needs toilet paper, it's me. So you better leave me some, damn it.
Man, I just got Eno back then, and I have one post of him, and he literally went through the roll and had it everywhere, spread out. Puppy Eno, puppy.
Oh, yeah.
And I recorded him.
You're like, this is the wrong time for that.
He knew he did something wrong, and I looked at him, I go, you know what you did. I go, you messing with my white gold. What's wrong with you, man? That is precious.
Yeah, you may not
during
need
this
that
time.
when you take a crap, but we do.
So I used him. I wiped with him.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Next.
Well, speaking of port strike, let's move on. Yeah, that was fast. I'm glad that it was resolved quickly. I think there are some things that we need to talk about relating to this. I'm seeing an interesting trend of a few big unions deciding not to endorse either candidate.
Yeah.
Now, that beside the fact that Democrats use union print shops for all of their campaign printing and merchandise and everything, forget the fact that like every Democrat supports unions.
Yep.
For some reason, these people are coming out and muddying the waters to benefit Donald Trump in some way.
That's
and while we support unions, we couldn't overlook the fact that there are a couple of heads of these unions that support Donald Trump. And so the gentleman that runs the ILA, the Longshoreman Union, this is him with Donald Trump.
How does he make Donald Trump look skinny?
Because he's a big boy.
That's a real big boy. He eating good.
One of the things that he did was after the thing in Pennsylvania with Trump, he sent I think it was an email out to all the members of the union telling them to pray for Donald Trump in this terrible time. And then we also have the Teamsters head of the union. He's a big Trump supporter as well. Sorry, that slipped. It's just really, I don't understand watching people that belong to a union knowing damn well that Donald Trump and the Republican Party and Project 2025 aims to bust all unions.
Yeah.
Like Elon Musk hates unions, and Elon Musk is one of Trump's biggest supporters right now. Yeah. Like all of his supporters, for the most part, hate unions and think that it's destroying America. And you want to know why they think unions are destroying America, bucketheads? Is because they actually make businesses pay their employees what they're worth.
That's right.
And they actually make it so that they can't work them to death and not give them any time with their families. And if they are going to work them to death, that they're going to have to pay them time and a half and double time on holidays. You think that people and workers would have any of that shit without unions?
Yeah. You would be still working a 7-day work week if it wasn't for a union.
Like,
let that sink in. And we could do better. We could still do better, but that's a reality. That's what at least we got to the 5, right?
My dad was he worked at Chrysler for pretty much his whole adult life. And he was a supervisor of the steering and suspension lab. And because he was a supervisor, he couldn't belong to the union, but he had 29 guys under him, and they all belonged to the union. And after my dad died, let me tell you one part first. So even though my dad wasn't a part of the union, he always instilled in me how important unions were for his guys. And that was what he would always say. The union's important for my guys. And that's just something I always remember him saying growing up. It's if you lived in Detroit, Metro Detroit area, auto workers were everywhere. Yeah. And a lot of them belonged to the UAW, the auto unions. And so it was something that was talked about a lot. So I knew the importance of it. And after he passed away, his supervisor called me and he said 2 things. He said, first off, my dad had 29 guys under him. They came back from my dad's funeral, and that Monday, he said 9 of my dad's guys walked in and retired. And when he asked them why, they all said, because Ray's not here anymore. If he's not my boss, I'm not working for anybody. And he said it's the craziest thing that he had ever seen.
Yeah.
And he said, and the second thing was, he was going through my dad's employment file, and he goes, I just happened to notice that your dad had gotten the highest raise in Chrysler history at 16.9% just 4 years ago. And the other thing was, he never in 29 years, and 20 of those being a supervisor, he had never had one complaint against him in the union. And the guy said, he goes, I don't think you understand how big of a deal that is. He goes, you get union complaints for not letting somebody go to the bathroom.
Right.
He goes, the fact that your dad's guys never felt the need to do that.
Yeah.
He goes, that's a lot for 20 years. He goes,
That's
wanted you, and he ended it. He goes, I just wanted you to know the kind of guy your dad was.
That's amazing.
You know, and that he always called them his guys, and they were like a family. You know,
Right.
that was his family away from me, and so to see these unions go start supporting a guy that literally would shut them down.
Well, the guy from
given
the
the
ports,
opportunity.
man, you see how good he's eating, but have you seen his home?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Oh my God, they posted it. He has like this little megala mansion that's out there, and it's like it's ridiculous. You're like, well, what are you talking about? Like you're starving. Like what's it? First off, this isn't adding up. It's really
Yeah.
not. And with the Teamsters, what's interesting is that every local Teamster is pushing for Kamala,
Yeah.
undermining his whole messaging.
Yep.
They're like, yeah, no, we're good. We don't need you. We don't need the head of him talking for us. We're with Kamala. And it's like, that's what I like to see. I like to see that even within the ranks, they're speaking up. They're like, you don't speak for us. And
Yeah.
it's interesting to see that they're like, yes, you're supposed to be the talking, like the one voice of all of us. And they're like, we don't like the direction you're going.
Yeah. And that's the thing. When you start, I would almost, if they came out and always did this, like if the unions were always like, hey, we're just not going to back anybody. Okay, that's fine. But that's not what this is. That's not what's happening here. And I also think it's worth pointing out that what was attempted here was to shut down the country 30 days before an election. Let's just call this what it was.
Brother man.
These union people are in bed with Trump, you know, and all it takes is a phone call and an agreement, and let's shut the country down so we can get Republicans back in office, because only Republicans can fix this. Like, Republicans suck at life so bad that they have to create their own issues to solve.
Right.
Like, and then when the Democrats jump in and they solve it in 48 hours, it's like, oh shit. Now you don't look like the serious people. You look like the clowns.
At all. They literally, the Republican Party, and I should say more the MAGA, is that bicycle meme with the stick in front and then blaming everybody else. That is them. Like I just roll them all out. But what did I always say to you and to everybody here on the show? Joe Biden is a beast behind closed doors, especially when it's time to negotiate.
Yeah.
He gave them a number they could not walk away from. They said, "Yep, we're done." And this whole shutdown looks ridiculous.
It does now.
It looks ridiculous. Like, so you were just 2 days? Cool. Not even struggled. You got what you wanted.
But can we also talk about the fact that they were able to give a 63% pay increase over 5 years without blinking an eye?
Oh, these people absolutely deserved it.
They have, but my point is, they had the money.
They absolutely had the money.
The company had the money.
And Joe got on the phone and said, "Don't even fuck around.
Yeah, you're either going to make this happen,
you're going to lose billions a day." Except for giving them their money over a span of how many years. Give them the money now.
Yep.
He shut it. You already know that he was he had a voice. And this is the sleepy Joe I always talk about, who's dangerous behind a closed door. I don't care about a speech. I don't care about a debate. This man can do the job.
Well, and I think that's the key. You know, we have hiring is up, unemployment's down, you know, able to prevent strikes or at least shut them down within a reasonable amount of time and get a deal done. Like, you can say whatever you want about Joe Biden. The administration is getting the job done. They're literally recovering the country from COVID. We're headed in the right direction. So, you know, they can try to.
What did little Marco say? Marco's like, the numbers are fake.
Everything is fake that they don't like.
Yeah,
you know, just like fact checking. All of a sudden, fact checking is a bad thing. Let me tell you something.
JD.
Yeah, the only people that don't like fact checking are liars.
Oh.
Like, if it's a fact.
I thought the rules were we weren't fact checking.
Yeah, well, that's
your
what Elon wants.
Your mic is on. No, I'm saying to JD that your mic is on.
These
like,
people,
idiot.
yeah. You aren't supposed to be fact checking me. Like, that right there. That's every American should watch that one clip and go, he's a moron.
Oh, he went to Yale.
And not to mention all the other lies.
Oh yeah. Oh no. He okay, so and you asked me, you're like, Ian, what'd you think? I go, he is really good at delivering a message. And he knew to play his position. And if you pay attention to him, he's there to serve up the same bullshit. He just serves it up with a little bit more elegance.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in control. I'm going to be there to be the voice, the calm voice for Trump, all this other bullshit. And it's like, he is, if you look at him the next day on the rallies, he went down that dark path of all this other bullshit and remind yourselves that this man created that bullshit about eating dogs and cats because he needs to steal the limelight.
Yeah, and that was the thing he didn't like being fact checked on. And then, and the best part is then you cut to the city manager, giving a statement down there being like, these are all legal citizens, and without calling him a moron, was basically like, he's a moron. Like, this is stupid and it's endangering people. Stop 100%. Being irresponsible.
Yeah.
So.
And these are his own constituents. This is what's so wild about it.
Yeah.
He's Ohio. What are you doing?
Like I said, if I was running a campaign, I would do the complete opposite of everything that the Trump campaign is doing.
Well, they are doubling down on their ignorance, and they are really leaning hard on the white vote. I'm sorry to tell you that.
Well, they are. They tried really hard. They were having a big push there, trying to get the black vote in particular. But I think just the vote of anybody that wasn't white, and unfortunately, it didn't work. Yeah. I don't think they got anywhere near the response from that they anticipated.
Right.
And it's one of the reasons that you've seen their messaging shift quite substantially. So I don't know if they've given up on the black vote, but I think that once again, we will be able to, I shouldn't put it that way. Unfortunately, it'll be the black community and probably specifically black women again who show up and deliver this for us.
Leading the pack. I really do think women are on the forefront. We gotta figure out what's going on with Latin men who are predominantly going for Trump, and we got to ask the question: why is this being a divide in gender? And I even find myself getting into the whole little Facebook battle of writing to people from our high school days, and and it's interesting because one of them was just like, you're willing to throw away a 20+ relationship of ours, and I'm like, yes,
yep,
because you're not keeping women in consideration
and sleep just fine.
Do you know what I mean? Like you literally are posting the most horrendous, divided trash, and you're not doing research. And bro, I saw you in high school. I saw how you studied for a test. You don't do good with research.
That was me.
You know what I mean? So let me help you out. You're talking about all the funding that's happening in because of this hurricane. Well, who controls the funding? It's not Biden and Harris. It's literally the Republicans in charge right now. Who's cut funding to FEMA? Republicans have.
Yep.
Who doesn't believe in the climate changing? Your party. So therefore, you're passing laws that do not actually help prepare for these things. What we do know, within the same sentence, someone has told me, since the 1960s, they haven't seen any storms like this, and here we are having storms like this. I go, oh, so you see that the storms are getting worse. Well, that's not to say that the climate's changing. Do you hear yourself?
Yeah, it's like,
do you hear yourself?
Facts.
It's you're even saying them.
Yeah.
It's like, facts. Get away. Facts. Get away out of my mouth. It's like, but you're the one. I'm not even arguing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
And so here we are.
My favorite question that I ask all the right wing weirdos, and I have it saved on my phone, and I just copy and paste it so you can see. I said, what is it about a felon, business fraud, adjudicated rapist, and accused pedophile who failed to balance the budget or replace Obamacare as promised while abandoning the Kurds and ignoring the 4 soldiers killed in Niger, currently selling $100,000 gold watches and gaudy gold shoes from China, signed Bibles, NFTs, and trading cards with pieces of his suit when he was arrested in some new crypto scam with Elon Musk that you think makes Donald Trump more qualified than the attorney, DA, AG, senator, and vice president? So can any of you answer that one for me? Just wondering.
Yeah. It's so wild, man. It's so wild.
Like,
but if they tell you I don't like her policies, you don't care for anybody's policies. And I say that because what's Trump's policy?
Yeah.
So don't tell me you care. Oh, you think that she slept her way to the top. Okay, you don't care who she slept with because who did Trump sleep with? You didn't care. So don't tell me you care.
It's okay when the guy does it.
You don't care.
Yep.
You don't care. And that's all you have to say. Trump makes regular people think they understand politics.
Yes.
And the more you understand
Man, that's a good way to put it.
the more you understand that, the more you are locked in where you're like, I know who I'm talking to.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep.
That's
No.
where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
So with that, and I just want to mention again, we just got done doing a show with Sarah Higginbotham, and she was amazing. We really look forward to you seeing that show. And with that, we'll pivot into the judge that struck down the Georgia abortion ban. I think it was called the Heartbeat Act or something like that. On Monday, Judge Robert McBurney of Fulton County enjoined the law and stated that abortions must now be regulated as they were before Georgia's 2019 law took effect in July of 2022 after Roe v. Wade was struck down. His ruling means abortions are allowed to happen until fetal viability at about 22 weeks of pregnancy. Georgia's Republican Attorney General has appealed the judge's ruling from earlier this week that struck down the state's 6-week abortion ban. McBurney said Georgia's state constitution guarantees the right to liberty, which includes a person's right to make decisions about their own health care. However, that liberty is not unlimited, he argued. When a fetus growing inside a woman reaches viability, when society can assume care and responsibility for that separate life, then and only then may society intervene. So it's really interesting. So it's being appealed right now. So we'll see what the outcome of the appeal is. But it is nice at least to see, a judge overturning this and at least giving them something to fight with.
It's just good to see common sense.
Yes.
It's removing all the bullshit, and it's like, let's just get to common sense again. And on top of that, it's like, I don't need my doctor to talk to his lawyer if he can do something. Bitch, get to work. Get to work. Plain and simple.
What you mean? Like, what am I? I feel like I'm chopped liver here.
Hey, man, I'm
Everybody's
over here.
saying hi to you.
I'm creeping in these DMs, baby. I'm over here sliding into there, all right? I'm in the chat.
Gosh.
I'm in the chat, all right? I know how to play the game, right?
So, what did somebody say up here? Now I need to know if this was...
I see you, Rochelle.
Not that.
I see you, Angry Bunny.
Have you heard about the new Trump tape of him making fun of the widow of the victim of his assassination attempt?
That got shot at.
No, but that does not surprise me. That's why I always laugh at these people, because it's just kind of like he doesn't care about you. He laughs at you.
He does not care.
Like, he just wants your money. He's not going to represent you. He's not going to do anything for you. He didn't deliver on anything in 2016 through 2020, and he wouldn't deliver on anything now. Like, this dude has not changed. This dude has not changed his spots miraculously in the last 3 years.
No.
And the fact that the Republican Party watched this dude go down in flames and watched January 6th and everything that's happened since then and said, let's run him again. It just tells you that the Republican Party is lost their fucking mind. Like, out of everybody in this country, how many people live in this country? We couldn't find one better person on the Republican side of the fence?
My man, do you know what that sight is to see a Cheney stand on stage
campaigning with
and literally say, I'm voting for a Democrat?
Yep.
Like, this is not a rhino.
No.
This is
as much as they may want her to be.
This is the equivalence of Republican royalty. And they say, I have never and I will be voting for a Democrat. That's the world we live in today.
Yeah.
That doesn't tell you anything.
Yep. And
there's some Republicans out there. Like I said, I mean, I as I'm getting older, maybe I'm a little more moderate. I'm always going to be a progressive. I'm always going to think forward. My legs is tired. I can't be in these streets like that. It's a reality. There's only so much protesting I can do.
Yeah. So with that, I think the next big piece of news this week was Jack Smith and the court releasing those documents. Ooh,
Ryan,
baby.
We call it here on Hold the Mic. And guys, like, subscribe, hit the notification button if you're your first time. Welcome to the Friday show. We do it live every Friday.
Yep.
We got a lot of great people that come around here. Great community. Joining in the chats is a lot of fun, I promise you. You will see something that might offend you and tickle your senses all at the same time. So enjoy. Enjoy the show.
We will definitely offend you. That's a given.
Jack Smith, oh my God. Everything that we talked about in past episodes, with all this leading to Judge Chutkin in D.C.
Yep.
We're not getting a trial, but we're definitely getting a lot of tea spilled.
Yep. And I just want to give a little shout out to this account here. James Conner, I pulled some information from this tweet. He did a really good thread here. So I pulled some stuff from him. So just want to give out, you should go to James Conner and follow him. He's got a pretty good Twitter page. You can find him at TO James Conner, and it's spelled CONNOR. So go give him a follow. And with that, so let's talk about some of these things that were in this document. I'm going to go through some things and find a good place to stop and talk.
Rattle them off. Let's go.
The evidence presented in Jack Smith's filing all comes from Trump insiders that were under oath, not Democrats. All Trump insiders is where this information.
Inside the house.
I think that's important. Let's remember that. Before Election Day, Trump told campaign insiders that he would declare victory regardless of the results, that he would assert that only votes on Election Day counted, because he knew that the mail-in ballot counts were probably going to favor Biden. By November 13th, Trump knew he had no evidence of election fraud and had lost legal challenges that could allow him to win the election. He knew it by November 13th.
Damn.
Like, what was that? 6 days? 7 days?
Pesky fucking calendars. Damn.
I know. And records. Mike Pence was loyal to Trump up to the end. Apparently, Pence repeatedly tried to talk Trump down and accept defeat as an intermission and advised Trump that he could run again in 2024.
Right.
Trump personally set the fake electors plan in motion in early December and ensured it was carried out by co-conspirators and campaign agents in the targeted states and monitored its progress. Now, if you followed me for a while, then you know I've talked about this a lot of times because we had 11 fake electors here in Arizona, and they have all been arrested and are now facing some pretty serious charges. And I called that about 2.5, 3 years ago. We got like Kelly Ward, her husband, had Cochise County head of the Republican Party was one of them.
And they're all crying in court.
Yeah, they're all crying like, "Oh, we didn't know, we didn't." You knew exactly what you. Not only that, you were dumb enough to freaking record yourself doing it.
That's right.
Like, oh, let's commit a felony. Hey, you got the camera on? Like,
and then they just get Tina Peters in Colorado.
Tina Peters, and I'm so glad you said that. This is going to be my Ryan rant for the fucking day.
Ooh, ho, ho, ho.
I didn't put it on the freaking outline for this reason, so fuck you for bringing it up.
Enjoy.
So this Tina Peters woman has been arrested and was sentenced to 9 years in prison for trying to break into election machines and alter it in favor of, guess who? Donald Trump. So I spend a lot of time online, and Twitter has become a complete shit show. Elon Musk has turned it into just another Truth Social. It's a right-wing think tank at this point. And Charlie Kirk and Jack Posobiec and all the usual douchebags were all out there talking about Tina Peters, a Gold family member, a Gold family mom. I'm like, whoa, hang on a second. Her having lost a son or a daughter, whatever, in a time of war, that doesn't excuse her trying to fucking overturn an election, you idiots.
That's
right.
Right.
Are you really that fucking stupid? Like, you're literally saying, well, this gold star, mom, what the fuck does that have to do with it? Like, does that excuse what she did? It's just like veterans. You guys tend to, look at us veterans and try to excuse certain things. Just because I'm a veteran does not excuse me from certain things. If I commit murder, guess what? I'm still a fucking murderer. Me being a veteran, it doesn't matter. This is just stupid. We've gotten to a point in this country where people will believe the dumbest shit and not question it. And I don't even know what to do with that anymore. It's unfathomable to me that we literally watch this guy try to overturn an election, that we're watching this woman go to prison for 9 years, and people on the right are literally trying to defend her. They're calling this lawfare. Bitch, it's not lawfare. It's applying the law to everybody equally. You just don't like that it's being applied to you because you are the ones breaking the fucking law. Like, it's really that simple. You guys think you're the same DOJ that handed fucking Hunter Biden 2 felonies? So that's the DOJ that you think is working to help all the Democrats and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and is going after every Republican and every MAGA person because it's all about politics and political warfare. Are you people really that fucking stupid? Like, I'm seriously asking you. I want you to put in the comments of this show. Are you really that fucking stupid?
We were getting it.
Because, like,
yo,
I'm not the smartest man in the world, but compared to you motherfuckers, god damn, I'm Einstein.
We know what shit smells like. We know what shit smells like.
And by the way, the guy taking a shit in a gold toilet, yeah, he doesn't give a fuck about you. He is not middle class. He cannot relate to you in any way, shape, or form. And you want to know why? Because he's been shitting in that gold toilet since he came out of his mom's fucking vagina. Okay? That is the biggest poster child for fucking abortions I've ever seen in my goddamn life. His mother could have saved us all. It's like Hitler. Should have had a fucking abortion. Trump should have had a fucking abortion. Would have saved us all some fucking time and money. A lot of money.
It is really interesting to see the people who are now hitting rock bottom.
I feel better now.
Good. You know what? You deserve.
I think I was holding that one for a few days.
I think you were. You look stress free.
I do. I feel better.
I know we just sidetracked with Tina, but it's like looking at how all this kind of is all tied together and it's all coming out now. It's really telling.
Yeah, it is.
Even Giuliani's daughter is like, I'm voting for Kamala Harris. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that.
And she's like, I love my dad. I can't. And it's heartbreaking to see that Trump destroys families.
Yeah, he's destroyed families. He's destroyed friendships. He's destroyed everything. It's like you said. I can disagree with somebody on politics.
Yeah.
Now, it's what are politics seems to be what's the issue here. You know, I can disagree with how we should spend money on our roads. You know, if we should give free lunches to kids.
That's right. How much for defense versus how much for kid programs. Absolutely.
Those are the type of things that we need to be able to talk about.
Yes.
We need
Allocation.
to be able to. Yeah,
absolutely.
I have no problem talking about those things, and that I will never destroy a relationship over something like that. Now, granted, abortion might strain our relationship a little bit, but that's not going to be a killer.
No, that's a fight. That's going
to be a fight and something we probably just say, okay, we're not going to agree on that one. But at the end of the day, supporting Donald Trump is about much more than that. And it's much worse than that.
Yeah.
And when people are you willing to destroy a relationship over politics? No, I'm not. But I am willing to destroy a relationship over morals. And I am willing to destroy a relationship if you're willing to go vote for a rapist that I couldn't trust in a room with my own daughter, then no. And if you're going to go vote for somebody that would literally make the lives of my transgender friends that I've made harder,
right?
Then no, we can't agree to disagree on that. And if you don't think that the climate change is real, then no, we can't agree to disagree on that, because I think that anybody with a brain sees that it's something that we need to get serious about. But it's just like, if you're willing to go vote for a rapist, a felon, an adjudicated rapist to be factually correct, an accused pedophile, and a straight up self-admitted domestic terrorist, then you are literally a piece of shit, and you are the worst America has to offer, and you have no morals, you have no principles, and I don't like you because you vote for everything that I'm against. You literally vote to hurt my family, you vote to hurt my friends, and that's the reason that I think you're all giant pieces of shit. Now, I don't hate you, and I'm disappointed in you as Americans.
But I would like to flush you.
But you're also a giant piece of shit.
Needs to be flushed.
So
it is one of those things, Ryan, where I honestly sit here and I go, you don't have morals. You don't really know about policy.
Yeah.
This gives you, you have this team sport-like mentality where it's them versus us, and that's not politics. There's a lot of gray, it's about compromise. It's about working with people. It's about how do we, like you said, with policy, how do we allocate and how do we find the best course of action.
Yep.
But if you think that a woman who's more educated and been in the community, being that of politics longer up until this point.
Hey, we got to. Hey, Mike Bash, how are you? This Ryan dude is a weird fella. Well, I just wanted to thank you for tuning into the show tonight. You could be anywhere tonight, but you're here with us. So thank you for tuning into my weird ass. Let's keep it moving. So Pence repeatedly refused to go along with the fake elector scheme. On January 1st, Trump told Pence hundreds of thousands of people are going to hate your guts. You're too honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. As Trump's pressure campaign on Pence ramped up, Pence kept notes. At one point, having 5 pages of contemporaneous notes from a meeting of all the batshit crazy stuff Trump was asserting and how Trump wanted Pence to throw out the lawful certifications. On January 5th, when Pence refused, yet again, Trump threatened Pence. I'm going to have to say you did a great disservice. Like, bro.
These are quotes.
He wanted that dude hanged outside the Capitol.
Yeah.
Like, I have zero doubt, no question. That dude, that's what he wanted. Like, he saw that gallows get set up, and he was like, yeah. He was watching on TV.
Let's see where this goes. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's interesting to get the play-by-play from all the people who were there.
Yeah. It's so telling. You know, I mean, we heard a lot of it during the congressional hearing.
But they don't even have this. They didn't even have this.
I was about to say, but it's so much worse than what we already heard.
But this is the bullshit where it's like you're looking at Mitch McConnell saying, okay, well, we're not going to do anything here and we'll let the courts decide. And then they get to the courts, they go, well, we're not supposed to do anything because the Senate didn't do anything. They didn't find him guilty. And it's like, this is bullshit that you're volleying back and forth.
Yeah, it's a hot potato.
This right here, Jack Smith, he is going to go down in history, in American history, for doing the work that literally somebody of his caliber was so detail oriented. And when you think about the fact that this all played out, where now they're going to attack all this and say, well, what is this? What's immune, right? Him with Pence. What is going to be under that now king-like law where it can't be used against him? But these little sweeteners and details that are all sprinkled throughout there, you can't run from it.
No.
None of this has anything to do with being a president. None of it.
Nope. So even the Supreme Court isn't going to be able to save him from this.
No.
So there's still more. And by the way, this is like 180 pages. This is just like little excerpts that are pulled out. There's much more. And I don't know if I'd say this is the worst of it, but it's some of the most damning, I think.
Yeah.
So Trump knew Pence had refused repeatedly to go along with the fake elector scheme when Trump issued a public statement on January 5th, which was a lie, giving false hope to supporters attending the rally on January 6th, in quote, saying, "The vice president and I are of total agreement that the vice president has the power to act and not certify the election results." When Trump spoke at the Ellipse on January 6th, he knew Pence wouldn't throw out the legally certified electors. Trump knew his only hope to delay the certification of Joe Biden as president was the angry mob before him, which is why Trump encouraged them to march down to the Capitol. Trump then watched the mob attack the Capitol on TV. Even after the attack, when Trump learned that the certification would still proceed later that night around 7 p.m., Trump directed a redacted name to make phone calls to Republican senators to try to stop the certification. Jack Smith is in possession of those voicemails. It's still shocking how close America came to losing our democracy on January 6th. Trump's coup nearly succeeded. It is utterly shocking to see this evidence laid out and realize that corrupt judges on SCOTUS have kept Trump from being held accountable for his crimes up to now.
Wow.
And I'm going to say what I said online yesterday, and I tagged Elon Musk because I'm not a pussy like the right wing. Anyone still supporting Donald Trump at this point is a domestic terrorist, and the punishment for terrorism in America is death. And I think it's about time that we fucking bring that back.
You've heard this exclusive here On Hold the Mic.
I posted it on Twitter yesterday. So,
Damn.
well, here I cited the laws and the part in the Constitution that says so. So they couldn't. I'm like, hey, here's the law. You guys are breaking the law. Like the minute Donald Trump had fucking Netanyahu down to his private property, guess what he started doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Joe
the
Biden
Logan
called that out
Act is,
too.
yeah, the Logan Act is a thing for a reason. And if you're talking about treason and you're helping another country or giving them information to undermine anything that has to do with our country, you are committing treason. And if you are supporting somebody doing that, then you are aiding and abetting a terrorist. Therefore, all you motherfuckers.
It's so wild to see how all this is like transpiring. But
Angry Bunny, oh shit. Hey, somebody needs to fucking say it. I mean, it's there for a reason. And by the way, they're saying it. They're trying to call us traitors and say the same shit. Elon's literally quoted it. Look, he's like, "Do you know what the punishment for treason is?" I was like, "Yeah, I do, motherfucker, and I know that you're one of them."
The one that said we're gonna have a peaceful takeover if the left allows it or whatever, that bullshit. I mean, like that subtle threat.
Yeah, you're like, well, we're not gonna allow it. So
we're not gonna allow it.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
It's so wild.
It's just we're 30 something days away. I'm so ready for it to be over. But I think what I'm ready for the release to know that Donald Trump isn't going to be back. Like the minute I know Kamala won and she's sworn in, I'm going to feel, and we've been talking about it on the show.
I might take a break from this show.
I mean, we might, we might need a week or two, but that's okay. Like we've talked about what are we going to pivot to next? What are we going to talk about when we don't have Donald Trump to talk about it, to fill our airwaves anymore? And we're
knitting on Hold the Mic.
Well, I think we're already starting it. That we're doing the show with Sarah. We've got Christian coming on. Yes. We're already moving into other things. These social justice issues and a lot of the issues we're facing aren't going to go away just because we keep Trump out of office. So we're still going to have a lot of stuff to talk about. But it will be nice to not have to talk about Donald Trump and all his filthy, ridiculous nonsense. We'll actually be able to spend time on things that matter.
Yeah, and I think we'll even challenge the administration. That would be a Harris and Wolf
absolutely.
administration. What are they doing? Why would they do this? I mean,
or what are they not doing?
I think it'd be great to challenge what the thought process is. I just don't expect there to be like stupid moves. You know what I mean? Where it's like you know that it's going to really hinder the process of growth of this country.
I'm sure we'll find things that we don't agree with, the administration on. But like you said, I don't think it's going to be anything. Honestly, I think the worst thing that they're going to have to deal with is all the wars going on, and I think that they're probably going to run into some issues with decisions that they're going to be forced to make. That's one of the biggest landmines I see for them in the near future.
Sleepy Joe is about to end a couple things. Is what I think is about to happen.
I hope so.
And the reason why I say that is because they literally, at this, I encourage everybody, listen to what Joe Biden said, President Joe Biden, today at the press conference where he showed up. And he just said, it's one of the questions, about how Netanyahu and Israel is going to attack Iran because they have now overstepped that boundary twice.
Yep.
And America is now firing on the Houthis. In Yemen, and the warships are there. Like we're inching towards this, guys. And they said, what have you said to Netanyahu about how he's going to attack Iran? And he goes, that's for me to talk to him about. You have nothing to do with it. Like he's letting people know. Don't worry what I'm saying to Netanyahu.
Well, and again, what does Biden have to lose right now?
He has nothing to lose. He is liberated. He can do whatever he needs to do right now.
Granted,
he's the most dangerous.
He can't go too far because that could hurt Kamala, but
he has ultimate immunity. Thank you.
He does, but I'm just saying he can be pretty aggressive and not have to worry about it. You know what I mean?
Correct.
But again, he doesn't want to put Kamala in a bad spot, that she's going to take office and be in the middle of a shit show. So I don't think he will. But
he doesn't want to, but there's an understanding that we have to show up where we need to show up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and
I agree. He needs to project that. Absolutely.
And
Yep.
he's putting everybody on blast. He's letting everybody know. Do
Yeah,
not
when you,
think that
when we
you're gonna
start
just
moving when we start moving carriers and destroyers and shit, yeah, it's serious.
yeah.
And I think, and again, this is the one of the only and maybe the only thing I've ever heard Mike Johnson say that I agree with. When Margie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz and all them were giving him a hard time for passing the funding, I think it was the Ukraine funding, if I'm not mistaken. And when they asked him about it, he goes, "Let me tell you," he goes, "when it comes down to it," he goes, "I would much rather send money and ammunition than our soldiers." And he just ended it with that, and I was just like,
That's it.
"That's pretty powerful and to the
That
point."
simplifies everything.
It really fucking does. It's like, you know
And
what?
that's
It sucks to send money, but I'll tell you what, I'd rather send that than fucking be taking off, soldiers off of planes.
but these conservative mega this movement of propaganda, and it's coming from somewhere from Russia, because they're talking about America spending billions on Ukraine, but they can't. That money should be used for FEMA, and it's like you're trying to create this wedge between us Americans. And I'm telling you right now, and like I said to you, like I question all of it. Anything that's a meme or whatever, where did it come from?
Yeah.
Who did it? What's the backstory behind it? Why are you attacking the fact that what we're doing with Ukraine, and with Ukraine, for everybody who's paying attention, we're selling them old ammunition and equipment, and then we're using the American infrastructure to build new stock for all of ourselves.
Yep.
So it's actually doing us a favor. Instead of it sitting there getting rusty and just post it up, we're moving it out. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, it's nothing
just
new.
Really, no, and it's not. I'm not using any type of bombs or missiles to take care of anybody who is in need in North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
But again, it's just, we talk a lot about experience with military things. When I was a contractor, there were always contract jobs coming up for people to go over to Saudi Arabia and work on the F-16s over there, because we had sold so many of our F-16s to Saudi Arabia. And one of the things that came with that was like a contract. So the government basically agreed that in that purchase deal, that there would be a contract for American contractors and I think some active duty soldiers too. But we would go over there and teach them how to maintain their aircraft that they just purchased from us.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't realize that happens. I had Saudi Arabia generals, and I'm not kidding. Well, no, he's probably a lieutenant, but he was in our learning how to do sheet metal with us. He was in my tech school. And when we got up to the part where we learned about the like the B2 and all the stealth stuff that we needed to know, he literally walked up. They had these pamphlets, and they walked up and they were handing them to each of us. And it was like we called them blocks. And it was like the block packet of everything we needed to learn for the test, blah, blah, blah. And he skips the Saudi Arabia guy, and he keeps passing them out. And the Saudi Arabia's guy's kind of like looking around. And as he gets done passing them out to everybody, he turns around and he goes, "You can go back to your room. We'll see you on next Monday." And when he left the room, we were all kind of like, "What's going on?" And as soon as he left, he goes, "We don't teach this to them." And it was just kind of like, it was eye opening.
There it is.
And it was just kind of like, we're learning things that you don't want other people to know.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first time in the military.
Did you have to turn those blocks back in
when
you left that room? That's how it was a skiff. Is that what it's called?
No. It's like a pamphlet. Like you get to.
I'm talking about the safety room. Like that's like the room where it's like no materials come or go out of here.
No, I mean no actual like the materials that they showed us and used. No, but like we could take our pamphlet back to our room and study.
Got it.
That kind of stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, somebody could have taken the packet and gone and given it to this guy if they really wanted to, but nobody would have done that because they're not going to lose their freaking career over some shit like that.
Right.
We were all too afraid that if we didn't pass the test, they were going to recycle us. So I highly doubt anybody was going and giving that guy the packet. But no, it was just it's just one of those things that reminded me and reminds people like me of what you're doing. Like everything I did in the military required a secret security clearance. It was a big deal. Every plane I touched, there was a human life attached to that. And you can always tell people that have never had a job where somebody's life depended on you doing your job.
Yeah. Yeah.
People that have had that on their shoulders, you can tell. And I'll never forget. I'll tell this quick story because I just love it. I got to Okinawa, Japan. It was my first day my first day of full work, and my shop chief, my new shop chief, he took me out to the flight line. Like it was like we were standing at the edge of at a hangar. The doors were wide open, and you could see out to the flight line. And so basically, you're just standing at the hangar doors, and you're looking out, and there's basically you can see like 10 of the 50 F-15s lined up that you're about to go work on. You just spent 3-4 months learning how to do this in a classroom format, and now you're about to go apply it in the real world. And I was giddy, dude. Like, I couldn't wait to fucking touch these planes. And my shop chief looked over at me, and he must have noticed the look on my face or something. And he goes, "Oh, you think this is pretty cool, huh?" And I was like, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "You just remember every time you go to touch one of those fucking planes, that there's somebody that gets in that cockpit every day and prays to God that you weren't having a bad fucking day and that you did your job right and you did that repair right." And it was just like he instantly kind of shut down that giddy kid mode.
He brought you down
and brought you down to
reality.
You're in the real world now. You're not in the classroom anymore.
Yeah.
And every job you do, there's going to be ramifications if you don't do it correctly. And, you can go look at the Concorde. You look at the Concorde that crashed. The whole cause of that was a repair that had fallen off on a plane that had taken off right before it. And they were literally able to track it back to the mechanic. Damn. And that's something that people didn't realize either. One of the other things that we were told was, look, if you're in the military and you're working on a plane and you don't do a repair right and they prove it, you can go to jail.
Yeah.
Like, you can go to jail for that. And so you always kind of had that in the back of your mind. At least I think anybody that, thought about those things or, took that into account, definitely had a few people that didn't. But yeah, it's just, and then you pivot that into, I've had to have a security clearance for about 15 years of my life. And I've had to go through 2 extremely extensive security background checks. And because of that, I can tell you with zero doubt that Donald Trump wouldn't be able to pass a confidential security background check. He wouldn't be able to pass a secret security background check. And he sure as fuck wouldn't be able to pass a top secret security background check.
And he's never passed broccoli.
I don't think he's ever passed a test.
No. It's a fucking
idiot. I mean, so
no, he does not have the credentials, and let alone, would you hire this person to be a substitute teacher? Would you hire this person being
I wouldn't hire him to dig a hole, dude. Like,
with his record, he could not get a regular job with anybody working a 9 to 5. It'd be extremely hard for him to find a job.
Yep. I wonder what his job in prison's going to be.
He's gonna be literally
keep it. Watch it.
Shacked up with Diddy and passing out baby oil. All right, we're gonna just talk about
baby oil song. Watch me put it on.
And speaking of predators, did Diddy just get 120 folks added to the list?
120 additional counts.
Oh my God!
Like, this dude's making Epstein look like a choir boy.
My man's about to be shooting music videos with Trump in the background.
And the worst part, or at least one of the worst parts, is one of them was a 9-year-old child at the time. Like, what makes people do that shit? Like, a 9-year-old child? You're looking at a 9-year-old child and going, and you're sexually attracted to that? Like, that's just something seriously fucked up here.
That's gross.
It's gross.
That is gross.
Any child, underage child is gross, but a fucking 9-year-old?
Let me bring it to the chat.
That's my son's age.
That's
my fucking son's age.
Can you guys, and this is for you too, Ryan, can you guys separate the artist from the art, or is it forever tainted?
Are you asking me?
I'm bringing it to the chat. You guys write in there. Can you guys still listen to the music, or are you guys done fully? And I'm asking you, Ryan.
That's tough. I think it kind of depends.
Yeah.
I know that sounds bad.
No.
But I think it kind of depends. Like, prime example. Let me break it down. I love the Foo Fighters, and it came out a couple months ago that Dave Grohl fathered a child outside of his marriage.
Mm-hmm.
as a fan, that's disappointing to hear, especially because Dave Grohl's like one of those guys that seems to be universally loved, throughout the music industry, and does good interviews and stuff like that. And he's a human, and he lives a life that a lot of us don't live. But just as a fan, it was kind of disappointing. But is that going to stop me from listening to his music? Probably not. When you take somebody like Bill Cosby and you find out the things that he did, drugging people, and literally raping them. Yeah, that taints that for me. Like I can't watch the Cosby Show and look at him the same way, and then it just kind of ruins everything else around it. Which it's not fair to the other people, the other artists and actors, but
which they hurt because of the residuals that come
absolutely it hurt them.
Yeah.
That's why you saw a couple of them get back into acting that hadn't been into acting for a while because they had to.
Yeah.
And and then you look at Michael Jackson. So many of us love Michael Jackson's music.
Keep moving. Hey,
but
fast forward.
It's just kind of like it really depends on R. Kelly. I hear R. Kelly song now and I cringe.
There's something about that, and I will say to you that if I was at if I'm at a family wedding, and Step in the Name of Love comes on, it's like there is a part of you that kind of takes you over. You're like, okay, like you're at this right vibe and all this stuff. With Diddy, it's like, okay, where does it stop? Do you not listen to Biggie because he was a part of those productions?
No, he ain't fucking Biggie up for me.
I'm just saying that's he's a part of those productions though, right? He cultivated all that. It's his hands all over it. Mm-hmm. So you're paying that artist.
Did you hear what I said?
I got you.
Okay.
but that's
who the
point.
Fuck is this? Paging me at 5:46 in the morning, crack of dawn, and now I'm yawning. Wipe the cold out my eye. See who's this paging me and why? It's my from the barbershop.
Jen has you right. Jen
don't listen to this shit. Are you serious? She does not like the N-word. She does not like rap music. Nope.
Hey, Jen has you right.
She listened. No, Jen, my wife is. How would I characterize my wife?
She listens to Bruce Springsteen right now. That's what she's doing.
She could probably jam out to Bruce. She's more like Disney and what's that? Wicked. Like you turn on some Wicked. She loves musicals and stuff. Okay, so that's more her. That's more her bag.
That's what's up.
Yeah, she's not. I know everybody assumes that I get my soul from her, and I'm like, I had that way before her.
Nah, man. Please. We all knew that. That came with the
you
time
did.
Of Detroit. You knew that. Please, but you can get her.
I was listening to Aretha when I was 3 years old.
Oh my God, man. I actually have okay. Well, I'll tell you that one in a second. It'll probably be my favorite for my positive. So no, I really do think about that with the artists of separation. I had that thing with Charlie Chaplin. I was like, okay, here we go. It's just one of those things, with do you separate the artist from the art? And Woody Allen, it was like he was never really. There was like a grooming aspect of him with his daughter, but it's like there was nothing that was illegal when he did it. But it's to each his own. It wasn't like he was with a child, but it was like when his daughter.
Let's look at it from a different perspective.
Okay.
Is every single person that Diddy took a picture with guilty of doing what he did?
Wait, say that again.
Is everybody that you see online that has a photo, with Diddy, is every single person that you see in a photo with Diddy guilty of doing what he did?
I mean, what time did they leave the party?
Well, if you're talking to Marlon Wayans, it was 3-4 in the morning.
What I'm saying? And let's talk about who left the party at that time.
Yeah, who left?
Or after that time. So.
I mean, again, you hear all these people that are telling stories now, and again, it's really disappointing because you clearly knew the stories, and you still did business with this man, or at a minimum, you just remained quiet. And how many people got sexually assaulted because too many people didn't want to fuck up their money?
I mean, there's speculation that's out like crazy, and I think this is what we might be talking about after the election.
One of the things,
As
for
long
sure.
as he doesn't get Epstein, yeah, we'll see what happens. You know.
Yeah, because by the way, you know who is a heavy investor in Twitter? Elon Musk's version, right? Diddy. Take that, take that, take that. Because Elon took that money,
Oh my god. Oh my god.
and he's trying to
Okay.
distance himself from Diddy now too. You should go look at his timeline. It's
Oh,
funny.
I'm
I'm like, hey,
sure.
bro, is this a picture of you with Ghislaine Maxwell? Like, what was happening then? Because
Oh.
he posted a photo of Diddy and Obama. So I posted a photo of him with Ghislaine Maxwell, and then I posted 12 photos of Trump with Diddy.
It's so funny how they're all together.
It's
They're
like, hey,
all
if you're
together.
gonna point at one, you got to point at the other.
That's all we ask. You know what? That's all we ask.
Yeah, but that's my point. Is Obama sitting there doing the shit Diddy was doing? I highly doubt it.
Right.
Is it possible? It's always possible. But
He left at midnight. Okay.
I'm pretty sure Obama was out at midnight, 1 o'clock latest.
Oh yeah.
You know, but no, seriously, just because somebody took a photo with somebody that did horrible shit
No.
doesn't mean that they're guilty. And I think it goes back to, like you just said when we were talking about the Cosby thing. The unfortunate thing is you have these artists that, you know, if they are getting paid their back end and all that stuff, it would affect them if we stopped
Absolutely.
listening to them.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, yeah, I don't want to support Diddy, but I also don't think
For Wallace's daughter, yes, we do want to
exactly.
support her.
I also don't think that it's fair that, you know, Faith Evans and Mace and 112 and all these groups that he facilitated
Right.
and that get paid for their streams and stuff like that. You know, do we hurt them just to make ourselves feel better, more righteous? I don't know, but do we hurt these people's pockets just because of him? And that's where that's where I struggle. But I struggle with that on everything. I look at Chick-fil-A. You know, not every Chick-fil-A is owned by the corporation. Some of them are owned by franchisees, and that franchisee may not be a Trump supporter, may not be a Christian, you know, chicken, whatever. May just
LGBTQ,
have liked the chicken and knew that it was going to be successful in the area and bought it.
I mean, don't we all like the chicken?
You know, Christian
just
chicken,
hate the
it is
message.
pretty good. We
It's
just
just-
hate the people that own it.
Hate the message. That's all it is.
But it's that situation. Do you hurt the franchise owner, you know, just to try to get back at the corporation? Like, that to me doesn't seem fair. You're hurting somebody in your community to try to prove a point. That,
Yeah, but some of those situations we just don't know. You just don't know
That
who's
too.
owning it.
Exactly.
Whatever the cases where you know Diddy, you know R. Kelly,
yeah, you know Diddy, you know art,
you know the art.
That's
you know what I mean?
that's a fair
and that's
distinction.
the hardest thing. You know the art, you know the sound.
Yep.
But like you said, if it's something that they're affiliated with, like should Danita Kane or should Mace, should they suffer being their productions, or Biggie, you know, suffer because of this, the atrocities that this man has brought. But it's there's so much that is going on right now, and I'm just wondering what's going to come out of that in the way that, like, we're seeing Jack Smith break everything down.
Yep.
I want to see what they break down, and I want to see that J-Lo tape. I'm not letting that go.
I know you're not. Well, speaking of tape, this is going to be a weird transition.
I'll take it.
So, Kentucky sheriff was killed, or I'm sorry, a judge in Kentucky was killed by the sheriff. And yeah, the story is crazy. Apparently it's caught on tape, and it's pretty disturbing.
Stop.
Yeah, they have it on, no sound, but they definitely got it all on tape. This dude like walked in and shot him, and then like crawled across the desk to make sure he got close enough and shot him from like 2 feet away to make sure he was dead. It was pretty messed up. Dude was apparently losing his shit and saying somebody was trying to kidnap his wife and his kid after they arrested him or something. But yeah,
this is what the sheriff was saying.
yeah. So the kicker is, and you sent me this. So there was a story that came out that the sheriff is retiring.
Yeah, this is white privilege at its best,
bro. So
this is what we talk about when we say, listen, folks.
So
this is white privilege.
Sheriff Stein's attorneys released a statement that said in roughly that Sheriff Steins has made the difficult decision to retire.
Which my
said,
question is this: does he get like pension and everything if
yeah,
he's
he would get a
retiring?
pension. Says this decision is made not as a result of any ultimatum or in any way as a concession to any allegations made by the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Rather, Sheriff Steins has made this decision to allow for a successor to continue to protect his beloved constituents while he addresses the legal process ahead of him.
This is fucked up. And this is fucked up for one simple reason. The governor should have stripped him of everything.
Still could. Still could. Just because he's filed doesn't mean that it's going to go through.
Don't see it happening.
Kentucky? Yeah, probably not.
I don't see it happening.
The kicker,
maybe after a case, maybe. Depending.
Maybe.
I mean, he pled not guilty, so there's that.
I was about to say, so he pled not guilty to first-degree murder.
But they have it on
Dude,
tape.
they got you on tape, like, literally crawling across the desk and double-tapping this dude in the head. Like, and you're going to...
So does anybody have any motive, like why this thing transpired? Like
The
how this...
article I read made it sound like somebody was threatening to kidnap his wife and kid, and like he was implying they told him to kill him or something. I have no idea. There are people in that community that are like, we don't.
Those things of kill.
He went to lunch with them. He went to fucking lunch with the guy earlier that day. Like him, I don't think it was just them two, but they were at a lunch together hours
I'm
before
not
that.
hanging out with anybody I work with ever again.
Right?
I'm good. I'm good.
Like, dude
Stop
just walks in and starts fucking shooting them. Like, that's crazy.
Do they have a time frame of the moment? Because when you say that, how long was it from him walking into the office to him shooting?
That part I don't know. I'd have to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But apparently it was like over some lawsuit that the sheriff had been named in.
There was
Like,
talk of his subordinate being the sheriff's subordinate being
having
tied
sex
to a sexual
with-
assault of somebody who was in
raped-
his custody.
Yeah, raped a girl while they were in custody.
Right?
Yeah.
And that the judge was going over that case and something else was coming out of that. But this is all
It
allegedly,
almost
guys.
seemed like the judge wouldn't wipe it under the rug and he shot him for it.
Right.
Like from the outside looking in, that's what it looks like.
Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm trying your people. Like, there's nothing you could say to me.
That's kind of what it's like. Yeah.
Thanks for buying me lunch, but no, that's not happening. And then bang, bang.
And like I said, I'm not saying that that's definitely it, but from the outside looking in and reading everything, that's sure as hell what it sounds like. And I mean, we've talked about it. You know, the culture around law enforcement, they protect each other no matter what.
They really do.
You know, it's like, man, would you really go to that fucking extent to stop that? Like, you know, let's turn a rape case into a fucking first-degree murder case. That seems like
not
a fair...
guilty. Whoever my judge is, like I put the
not
judge
guilty as I'm watching the video.
Yeah. But it's baffling to me that it literally was you have till Friday to decide if you want to retire or I will be firing you. Like that's ridiculous to me.
Yeah, you should have been fired on the spot.
On the spot. Like this
You're
is what's
fired,
happening.
you don't get your retirement, fuck you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get to earn it back if you're found innocent of this case. But
Yeah.
that's just wild.
Yeah, you're fired.
wild.
You can have your job back if you're found innocent, but considering that we have video of you shooting this dude in the fucking head, I'm going to say that this might stick. So,
Ryan.
yeah. It's again, you know, it's another story that just makes it really, really hard to not look at law enforcement the way that we do.
It's like serve and protect
Who?
your own values and like
They serve and they protect
other.
property and
Yeah.
each other, and they serve rich people and themselves.
Yeah.
They protect the property owners and themselves, I should say.
Right.
Yeah, no,
have
you know,
to-
it's hard to paint all cops with that, but you know, again, seeing all these officers, you know, kowtowing to Donald Trump every time his plane comes into their city. Like, I understand that. I understand that sheriffs and police officers, you may have to do your job, and that job may require you to be in a motorcade, you know, protecting Donald Trump. I get that. You have to do your job, but you don't have to get off of your motorcycle or get out of your car and go, you know, stand hand in hand and arm with all your fellow, you know, police officers with Donald Trump in the middle of you all, with everybody giving a thumbs up, smiling. Like, this dude's a felon. He's an adjudicated rapist.
Right.
He's a multiple time business fraud, and he's a domestic terrorist. So how do you think that we Americans that, aren't domestic terrorist pieces of shit, how do you expect us to look at you? Like, what do you expect us to think of you? Like, you're literally supporting one of the most evil, fucked up people that this country has ever seen, and you're falling for a con man.
I mean, it
And
really is the underbelly of America.
it really is.
Like that's and to see the cops so like shoulder to shoulder. These individual cops, it's not all cops, but them and the ones that are from J6, to see them shoulder to shoulder, it shows you that it's more than just a couple bad apples, right?
And the bad thing is that the good ones stay silent because they just don't want the hassle, and they know what the culture is.
Right.
And that's
And they know what the repercussions would be.
Yep. So then when we say that there are no good cops, that's really what we mean. Like, I know that there are cops that you're good people and you don't necessarily do what the other cops are doing, but you know about it and you're staying quiet.
Right.
And that's the problem. And that's how we get to, sheriffs walking into judges' quarters and just, fucking unloading a clip on them.
That's so wild. Yeah, when this whole thing comes out, I mean, we're gonna really have to follow up on this.
It'll be interesting to see what comes out and if this dude ever, says why he did what he did. He's going to jail. If he doesn't go to jail, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, look at the ones that were just at the Nichols case. They just some of the hardest charges were dropped, or they were not found. They were found not guilty.
Yeah.
And Phil Nichols, and it's so tragic that these men literally executed this young man. These police officers executed this young man in the streets, and it's just like it's ridiculous to see this immunity aspect and what Project 2025 talks about, giving them ultimate immunity. Kingmakers, and it's just like
Trump's already said it. He'd give ultimate power to law enforcement. Like, nope, fuck you, no, absolutely not.
Just wild.
Yep. So with that, that's it. So let's wrap it up with our positives for the week.
What you got?
Nah, you go first.
Yeah, I can go first?
Yeah.
So here in my house, bath time is always a fun time for my son. And we always talk about diet. And so, we've gone through it. Disney, certain movies, Little Man Like Spider-Man. So we've done all these different types of soundtracks and everything. And my wife told me that I'm hyping him up too much. That he's getting too hyped to go to bed, and I need to chill out. I was like, oh wow, I was just playing jazz. Like I didn't know Thelonious Monk was gonna get him hyped. Like that's not rave music. Like what's going on here? So I said I'm gonna test the theory out. Why did I put on Negro spirituals and just said, go ahead? And she looked at me and she said, I can't say anything at all to this. And I go, and she started hemming and hawing, boy. Let me tell you, she started humming the songs down by everything. She started doing it. I said, don't play with me. I will put on a Negro spiritual, and that's what everybody's listening to in this house. I was like, let's go.
Going around like a fucking underground railroad.
I had it going, and I just turned it up, and I was just like, just doing it.
Ian's over there like, sing it, Harriet Tubman.
I told him, I go, we about to be on the underground road to get out of this bedtime, boy. Let's go. Oh yeah, welcome to my house.
Follow me, son. I'll show you the way out.
There's always a show at my house. I don't need an audience. I'm telling you right now. My wife hates me. Okay, she doesn't even watch me in real life. She doesn't watch the show, and she doesn't watch me in real life.
Yeah, we commonly wonder why our wives married us, but here we are. Poor women.
So that's my positive. You gotta have fun. You gotta have fun.
Gotta. Mine was, so as we've been discussing, I'm coaching my son's soccer team, which is the first time I've ever coached anything outside of dancing. And so definitely first time doing sports. And we won our first game this past Saturday. So we won 2-0. And it was it was my first game, and I found myself walking, pacing up and down the side of the pitch, on basically our side of the field. So I'd stop halfway, where the other team was, and I'd start walking back, and I'd be screaming like across the field, even if they were all the way on the other side. So when they scored, they were all the way on the other side of the field. And so they start running towards me, screaming, and I go running out on the field too, like I'm a freaking player, like I'm Cristiano Ronaldo, like about to, freaking throw my
Pick
shirt
up
off
your
and go
jersey.
and sliding across the grass. And the kids all come running up to me, and we're like screaming and like, high fiving and everything. And then the parents behind me, my parents, they start like, the game's still going. And I turn around and the other team's got the ball coming. And so then I'm yelling at them like, game's still going, turn around, go get the ball.
So good.
But like, I
good.
ran out on the field. I was so excited. And
Yes.
it was just, it was awesome.
You love these boys, the kids.
I got
unisex, right? Unisex.
I got 3 girls. Yeah.
I love this, man. I love this. You are Coach Bombay, man. You are having
Dude,
a great time.
I have to say, I'm having a really good time. The fact that I have really good parents. I don't like, all the parents are really cool, and then like anytime that I've needed help, they're just like right there to help. So that's helped. The kids are great. They're typical kids, but when it's time to like practice or do something, they listen and they do what they're supposed to do. So yeah, it's been great. It's been cool watching Dominic, kind of figure it out. He's struggling a little bit with it. Like, he's just never played sports. Right. So it's just new to him,
which you're taking him into an environment because he's not dealing with conflict in school settings and everything.
Right.
So now you're like, welcome.
And prime example, he doesn't like getting pushed around. Yeah. And when they're scrimmaging, like a couple of the kids will be and Dominic's like the biggest kid there, not surprisingly.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to use it. And so
mental giant?
Yeah. So he, like, when he gets pushed, he doesn't like it. And I'm like, shove him back a little bit. I was like, go after the ball. Yeah. And it's like, he doesn't like the shoving. He's like, I don't want people shoving me. And I'm like, oh, I know that, but it's people aren't shoving you. They're just trying to get the ball. Like that's just part of the game.
That's the game.
And so just trying to get him like that, and the running, I have him going around the whole field. Yeah, he got like 3/4 of the way. He was like, Dad, I was like, that's why we're doing this, because because games are long.
Oh yeah.
So
that's why I play defense.
Yeah,
I was like,
I think I got one kid, he's really good at it, but he likes to play goal, and I think he's onto something. I said, compared to all the other kids, he ain't running that much. I said, I think he's onto something.
Oh yeah, I got this, coach. I got this. Let me just sit over
but
here.
He stopped everything. Good. Well, and that was the difference I saw. Like the other team, the kids wouldn't come that far out the goal to challenge whoever had the ball. Oh. Man, my kid, he was like, he was just like, he'd come running out of the goal. The challengement would kind of freak him out. And then as soon as they would like hesitate, he'd just kick the ball over to the other, to one of our team. I was like, he just was crushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was
defend your realm, baby. On it.
So
I love that.
Yeah,
so what's the schedule that we're looking at for this crew? Because you guys just won the first game
this week. So we have like 4 different times. And last week we were the latest team, so we got to play like at noon. And this week we're at 9. So it's going to be, but I think it's going to be good because it's supposed to be hot again tomorrow. So playing at 9, hopefully we'll get to the games done before it gets too warm.
Yeah.
Because the kids were like, they were dying towards the end, like the last quarter that we played last week. Yeah, they were done, but they pushed through it. But yeah, man, I'm having a blast and spending time with Dominic, and also Liv's been going to the practices, and she'll help me set up, and then she just sits there. And the best part, though, probably the best part of the week was, so Dominic on Tuesday's practice, he took one to the face. And it hit him. It was hard. Like he did good at first, but as soon as he saw the blood, like the blood dripped on his arm, he started kind of. I was like, okay. I think it was more shock than anything else. So I just went and sat him down, but I had the whole team, left I had to go coach. So I come back, and Liv's rubbing his back, has got an ice pack out for him. He's got the first aid kit open, and had FaceTime Jen to get him.
Oh, get out.
Yeah. So she's taking care of him the whole time I'm out on the field coaching. Yeah. And I had no idea until, I walked off and saw what was going on. And it was just like proud dad moment, because they, you know how it is. They fight like like freaking
Yeah.
siblings.
Oh yeah.
But then you see something like that happen where one of them gets hurt, one of them's crying or whatever, and you see how fast they are to,
Oh yeah.
to
That's
go
their
help
partner
each
right
other.
there. Partner in crime.
And, it just makes me feel like we're doing it right,
No, I love that. I love that, Ryan. You are doing it right. That speaks volumes.
Oh, bye, Rochelle. I'm just seeing that. Hopefully, you guys have a good night.
Absolutely. Have a
But
beautiful weekend.
that's our positives. So again, if you weren't here for the beginning of the show, one of the reasons that we were late tonight was we just got done filming an amazing episode with a woman named Sarah and her organization. They started the hashtag that you've seen me use quite a few times, Vote Repro, and it stands for Vote Reproduction.
Yeah.
And
He's dope, man. That was a really good conversation.
Yeah, we ended up, it was only supposed to be a half hour, and we ended up going for an hour. So I really look forward to sharing that with you because she brought a lot of good perspective, information on how we can better support some of these pro-choice organizations, even after the election. That was one of the things we really focused on too, was, after this election, we're still going to be in this fight. Absolutely. So that's why this episode, I think, will be so important. And really look forward to sharing that with you.
When we're dropping that episode?
I'm going to try to drop it
next week.
Definitely next week. I'm going to try to drop it Monday or Tuesday.
Okay. So be on the lookout,
I'm trying to think. I don't think it's going to take much editing. Like I don't think there's too much to cut out, if anything. So we should be able to release that one on Monday or Tuesday, and
early next week. So be on the lookout, guys. Definitely be on the lookout. You'll get more of us next week.
Yep. And then we have Christian Ortiz with Justice AI, who is a sponsor of the show.
I am looking forward to that.
He's going to be coming on the 18th, tentatively, because he's an extremely busy guy. And Friday nights are just kind of difficult for him. But we're trying to get him on here. Like I said, he's a sponsor, and he has an AI platform that you can run anything through, your script, your tweets, your social media posts, anything, and it'll tell you if there's any bias in your post so that you can fix it and try to be more factual instead of, playing off of either misinformation or just feelings or whatever. So really cool platform, and just thankful that he is signed on to sponsor our podcasts. And he does some amazing work for us as well. He's done our graphics work for us. So he also does that. So if you need graphics, we have a guy.
We know a guy.
We know a guy. So
we got some special things coming your way, guys. And we really appreciate you guys being here on a Thursday. And for those who are new, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and see more of the fuckery that comes out of Ryan and I here on Hold the Mic.
But we're definitely expanding into new things, because as we've been fondly talking about, hopefully in about 30-40 days, we're not going to be talking too much about Donald Trump, and that's going to free up a lot of outline space for other causes and other things.
Mega turd.
Yep. And we're bringing, as you can see, we're starting to bring people on the show. So we're definitely moving in the right direction, and just want to again thank all of our listeners out in every country that's listening. We're the Ireland and UK. I just can't believe how many downloads we're getting out there. So just want to send some love to all of you guys, and thank you for the support. Thank you for all the support here in the States. Centerville, Tennessee is still our #1 city. So
Tennessee, sweet
Tennessee. Yeah, we need our NYC, Detroit, and Arizona folks to step up the downloading.
Nobody from home likes us. Don't even.
Nobody from home. It just goes to show you. It's the strangers that support you.
It's all there.
But no,
man.
We love you guys. We wouldn't be here without you. And in 35 episodes, just to see how much we've grown, along with you, because of your support, it's just very humbling. So thank you as always. Much love. Keep fighting. Stay safe out there. And whatever you do, make sure you get your ass out and vote.